Hi YouTube, Tim Unker here. In this video, we're going to focus on factoring some quadratics where a, the coefficient in front of x squared, is equal to 1. This is a start of my pre-calculus tutorial series, and it's meant as a prerequisite skill to help pre-calculus students review for the course. So let's get started. So in our first problem, we're going to factor this quadratic, x squared plus 15x plus 44. To do that, we're going to list the factors of 44. Now, when we do that, we want to keep in mind that we have a positive sign here and a positive sign here. And what that means is that we're going to basically only list positive factors. We're going to look for the factors that add up, the pair of factors that add up to the middle coefficient, which is 15. Okay, so let's just get rid of that stuff and start doing that. So let's list the factors of 44. Okay, so the factors of 44 are 1 and 44. Well, that adds to 45, which is much more than 15. Okay, 2 and 22. That adds to 24. We're getting a little bit closer. 4 and 11. And I like 4 and 11 because 4 plus 11 is 15. And these are both positive 4 and positive 11. So now I can write my quadratic in factored form. And I can write it as just x plus 4 times x plus 11. Okay, and if we want to check that, what we can do is we can draw a Punnett square, or you could do FOIL or double distribution if you like, but I like this method. And we can take, the x plus 4 and the x plus 11. We can multiply these together. The Punnett square is nice because it kind of organizes everything. So if we do x times x, we get x squared. X times 4, we get 4x. X times 11, we get 11x. And 11 times 4, we get 44. If we add up our like terms, which are 4x and 11x here, we get back to our 15x here. So we've gotten back to the start. So our check, this is a check, has worked. Boom. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, maybe go through a couple of these problems and review, or you probably should go through these problems and review as I go. One thing I encourage is pausing the video, trying out the problem yourself, and then seeing if your answer matches mine. Okay, I'm going to erase everything and let's move to the second problem. Okay, so this one we have x squared plus 3x plus a negative 88. Okay, so this one's interesting because since we have a negative sign here, or you might just see a minus 88, you might not even see the plus 88. Excuse me for a moment. We're going to have two different signs. So we're going to have a positive and a negative sign for the factor. That's because when you multiply these together, you're going to get a negative. And the larger number, the number that's further away from 0 of the factors, has to be positive because when you add these two together, we're going to get, this positive 3 is what we're aiming for. So what we should do is get started with listing out the factors. So we could do 1 times negative 88. That is obviously not going to work, right? And I'm just going to list the positive factors on this side. We have to have something that's larger, that's positive. Obviously, positive 88 and negative 1 aren't going to work. So I'm not going to waste your time listing those out. We could do 2 and 44. Maybe negative 2. We'll keep 44 larger, right? Because I said the positive one has to be larger. Again, the gap between those is too large. Let's keep going. We've got like negative 4 and 22. Getting closer. And then we go to negative 8 and positive 11. So if we multiply these two together, we're going to get this negative 88 there. And if we add these two together, well, we're adding numbers with the different signs. So we do 11 minus 8. That gives me 3. And we're going to keep it as a positive 3 because the number that is further away from 0 on the number line, the 11, has a positive sign. So that gets me to where I want to get to with that middle term there. So I can write my factored form for number 2 as x minus 8 times x plus 11. You could also have the x plus 11 first and the x minus 8 second. Now, you guys can go ahead if you want, do the Punnett square, FOIL, or double distribution to check, see that we get back to our original quadratic here. But I'm going to move on to the next one, so I'm going to get rid of this stuff on the screen, and we'll go to the next one. All right, so let's scroll down to problem 3. Okay, so in problem 3, we have this quadratic x squared plus 19x plus 90. And we have a positive sign here. We have a positive sign here. So for 90, I'm going to list all the factors of 90. I'm going to pick the, well, not all of them. I'll just list them until I find the 2 factors of 90 that add up to 19. Okay, so let's do that. So obviously we can multiply 1 by 90. But that's going to shoot me over. That's going to be 91. 2 by 45. Still too much. 3 by 30. Still too much. I think we got 6 and 15 here. Still too high. But then if we do 9 times 10, so positive 9 times positive 10, well, we're going to get, those are going to add to 19 and multiply to 90. So I can write my factored form for this one as x plus 9 times x plus 10. And again, if I want to do the review, let's do the review for this one. So I'm going to draw out the Punnett square here. I have my x plus 9 here, my x plus 10 here. X times x is x squared. X times 9 is 9x. X times 10 is 10x. And then 10 times 9 is 90. So let's look. So we want to get the last term to be 90, which we do. That checks. Okay, if I combine these like terms, so 10x plus 9x here, well, that adds to 19x, so that checks out. And then we also have the x squared here, which also checks out there. So we have factored this correctly. This is our factored form. Okay, let's try this last one. And this last one, you know, I use, so if you're wondering how I make these worksheets, I used to be a computer programmer as well as a high school math teacher. So I use JavaScript to generate the numbers via the browser. So this one, if I didn't do that, I would see it something like x squared minus 121. But it's kind of nice that it comes up this way because this confuses a lot of students. They're like, well, what number do I add up to? Well, if you don't write x, the term with x in it, you have 0x, okay? So what we have to do is we have to have, this has a negative 121 here, so we have to have a plus and a minus, and they have to be the same number. So what we have to do is take the square root of 121. Sorry about that. That's my phone being annoying with potential spam. So if I take the square root of 121, well, what's the square root of 121? Well, that's 11. 11 times 11 is 121. But remember, we're going to have a negative 11 here, and we're going to have a positive 11. So when I write this in factor form, I'm going to write it as x minus 11 times x plus 11. Okay, so x minus 11 times x plus 11. Yep, there we go. That is the factored form. If you want to check it, you can check it. If you want to go to Teacher Pay Teachers and get one of my JavaScript generated worksheets, you can see if I get rid of all this stuff. This is the code I write to create these worksheets. So I have my JavaScript code here. Just you know, so do some scripting to write the worksheet. Sometimes I write them in Python just to mix it up. But anyway, so that's how I'm creating them. I'm not using AI to just make a worksheet for me. I do them, I tailor it specifically to the algorithm if you're interested. Anyways, enough about that. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, yep, Teacher Pay Teacher will be in the description, along with my website. I just started to update it with WordPress. So I'm gonna, WordPress is nice and easy. You can use plugins for a bunch of functionality. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more helpful as a site. I'm a coder, but I don't really want to update it all on my own. So that's a little bit about the site. Anyways, hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day.